Hi everyone, I am Kim Strom. I'm a professor of practice and the assistant department head for the Management Science and Information Systems Department at Oklahoma State University. And today I'd like to share with you about the LinkedIn platform. I've used LinkedIn both professionally when I was in the IT sector prior to coming on as faculty at Oklahoma State, and now I've experienced using LinkedIn as an educator. So hopefully I can share some best practices with you and also share the way I use LinkedIn to help me in my daily life. So today I'd like to cover basically three areas. The first one is letting you know how LinkedIn is different than other social media platforms. I also want to share some benefits that you will have if you use LinkedIn as either a faculty member or an administrator. And then finally, we're going to get into LinkedIn so I can show you some best practices for setting up your profile. LinkedIn is different than other social media platforms because it is industry specific. You have business professionals who create their profiles and share information with each other. So you're able to share your expertise, find expertise in others that can help you further your research or help you in your curriculum and your classroom. You also have opportunities to see what's happening in businesses, specifically those that maybe you teach about in your classrooms. And then it offers great professional development. A lot of times people post free professional development opportunities, but LinkedIn also has its own platform called LinkedIn Learning. Now that particular part is not free, but occasionally if you are on LinkedIn enough, you'll get the opportunity to take a class for free, and I really encourage you to do that because all the classes that I've taken through LinkedIn Learning have been very valuable. Otherwise, it isn't expensive to join, and even a lot of companies and a lot of schools will buy a license, so it's available to all of their faculty and staff. So it may be something that you want to check on at your particular organization. Let's talk about the benefits of using LinkedIn. And the first one I find most valuable is connections. Now, you can connect with alumni, with industry, find subject matter experts, really anyone that's in a professional field that you find of interest. So I use these connections to bring people into my classrooms. We know that students love hearing from the professionals instead of just from their faculty, professors, or anyone else at your school. I also advise a lot of student clubs, and those student clubs host events, and we let the employers come in and share their expertise through workshops, talking about their company culture, opportunities for our students to get internships and full-time positions. We also have advisory boards made up of industry experts. So if you do this as well, this is a great way to connect and find those members that are going to be of most value to your faculty members, your administrators. Bring them in on your board so that you are staying connected to industry. If you are a textbook writer doing research, maybe you need to connect with editors, publishers, other people who may have the same research interests as you. You can really expand what you have available to you, and it's all for free on LinkedIn. An additional benefit is collaboration. Whether you are conducting research or you're trying to provide those career discovery events for your students, you can connect with a lot of individuals on LinkedIn that you might not otherwise have an opportunity to visit with and pull from their expertise. I also use it to connect with people to further my curricular development that I do in my coursework. It makes sure that the content that I'm teaching my students is relevant, and I wouldn't have that ability if I didn't have my connections on LinkedIn. Finally, I find it very valuable to connect to alumni of our program. We do this through reaching out to specific alumni, but what we have started doing is also asking our students who are just now graduating to go ahead and not only connect with us individually, but we set up a LinkedIn page for our department and for our MIS program in my case. And we ask students to connect to that. That lets us to keep pushing information to them as an alumni and now a potential employer that's going to come back and recruit our students. We can connect with them, let them know what's going on in our program, and hopefully they're going to want to come back and get involved at our school and hopefully hire our students as well. I also encourage you to share your successes on your LinkedIn pages, both your individual pages as well as you do have those departmental pages. When we do work with employers, we try to tag those employers on their LinkedIn pages, and that lets them get some publicity for free of what they're doing with our students, giving back to the universities and to our programs. And it also lets them see what we're doing with other employers and hopefully entice them to get involved. We also list all our student events, student successes out there, as well as our faculty, any awards that they have, research that they are conducting, new initiatives that they have. These are the things that are most valuable to try to post on LinkedIn. The best thing is it's totally free. Yes, you can pay for it, just like any free platform. There is always a paid version. You get more features, but you can also do everything that I just talked about for absolutely free. Now it's time for you to optimize your profile. I encourage you to pause the video, get your free account started if you don't already have it, and then we'll go through some best practices to make LinkedIn work for you. I want to start out by taking a quick peek at my own page and give you an idea of how I use it, and I'm going to also show you our department page. Those are set up a little differently. Be aware that at your school, you may need to go through your marketing department or other departments to have those set up for you, so it's not tied to a personal account. When you first get into LinkedIn, you're going to see your profile on the left. You're going to see your toolbar on the right. You're going to see LinkedIn news, typically some type of ad here in the lower right-hand corner, and it's this main area in the center that is called your feed. You can always start your own post here at the top. You can include pictures with that, events, write an article, or you can scroll down through your feed here, and you can see we've got some internships going on. This is more of an ad, so you're going to see different types of events. The nice thing about LinkedIn is it's not all ads. You will see one every once in a while, but a lot of times that is a business who has a business LinkedIn page, and that is something that they have posted there. Otherwise, it's typically stories, articles, things that you would find helpful and useful, and it's tailored to what you normally are searching for on LinkedIn. Now, I am seeing two things here on the left. You will not see those if you do not have other pages that you manage. Notice you see my profile here on the top, and on the lower part you see Department of, and if you could see the whole thing, it's Management Science and Information Systems. And that's because that is a page I have admin rights to be able to manage. So if you end up setting that up for a department or your school, you will see that here on the left as well. The other thing to get used to is messaging that is typically minimized here on the lower right, but you can also expand that and see any messages that have been sent to you, and you can read those there as opposed to going to the messaging feature on your toolbar. So you'll get used to this, but the layout is roughly the same. Just like any online platform, it can change without any notice. I am going to take you to our department page so you can see how it looks slightly different than other pages. And I'm going to need to view this as a member because right now it knows that I'm an administrator of that particular page. So this is what it looks like if you were to go to our particular page. We still have an About section to tell about us, and then various page posts. We're coming up on an event where we're featuring some of our graduates at an event this next week. And so those are the latest 2 posts we have. Otherwise, you can go to Show All Posts and be able to see various things that we are posting on our page. Before you start modifying your profile, we want to take care of your privacy. If you go to your profile picture and click that and go to Settings and Privacy and then Visibility, you're going to see an option that says Share Profile Updates with your network. You want to make sure that this is off. Otherwise, every modification that you make to your profile, your connections are going to get notified of that. So I personally keep this off. The purpose of it is primarily if you are searching for a job and you have gone and updated your skills, you have a new certification, you've gotten an award. Each time you don't have to push that yourself, you can go ahead and let that automatically be updated and send notifications to your connection. So again, it depends on your purpose of using LinkedIn. For me, I keep this turned off all of the time. Let me show you where you will find that. If you click your profile picture on the toolbar and go to Privacy, Settings and Privacy, on the left, you see Visibility, and then you'll need to scroll down to the Visibility section and Share Profile Updates with your network. This is what you want to make sure is turned off. There are a lot of features in the privacy and settings. I really encourage you to spend some time going through each setting so you're completely comfortable with what is being shared with your network and what you are keeping private. There's a difference between a LinkedIn business page and a LinkedIn group, and these are oftentimes used interchangeably as people are talking about them, but they function very differently. When you have a LinkedIn group, you have to invite people to the group. So often that is considered private, and you would not be able to share everything easily with those you aren't already connected with. If you will set up a business page for either your department, your school, your organization, then others can see that page without having to connect with you. For instance, let's check out the Educators Leadership Academy page. If you come to the search bar and type the name, you can type part of the name. It will start trying to do a smart search for you here. And as you continue to type, you'll get different options. I can see this is the one I want because I can see their logo, so I select that. And then I click View Page. And here I can see their business page. So they have a great About section here. We'll talk about how you set this up for yourself or your organization in just a little bit. Here's some frequent or recent posts that they have done. Upcoming events. You can also click the Show All Posts and be able to see previous posts that they've done. Now that you have your profile set up, it's time to personalize it a little bit. So I would like you to consider adding a pronunciation of your name, particularly if your name is hard to pronounce. Maybe it has an unusual spelling. This keeps people from being embarrassed for pronouncing your name incorrectly. It builds that rapport, builds in inclusivity. It just adds a bit of professionalism to your profile. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. If you click your profile picture, go to the View Profile, and then two options. One is to use the additional name box to phonetically spell your name. The second one is if you will download the LinkedIn app on your mobile device, it will let you go to Profile Edit and record the pronunciation of your name. So I'm going to go here and show you. I've clicked on my profile. I'm going to go to View Profile. And if you click the pencil here, it lets you edit your profile. And this additional name field is where you can phonetically describe that. I want to make sure you protect your content, and that happens with a good password. That means you need to use upper and lowercase letters, a number, a symbol, and pick a password you don't use on other platforms. I know that's very hard. We all like to have a common password and maybe just add a number or change the number. That's not a good practice. So try to pick one that's unique just to LinkedIn. The next feature is something a lot of people don't even realize they can do, and that's creating a vanity URL. So you may be thinking, why do I need that? Well, a lot of people list their LinkedIn connection, their URL, on their business cards, on their Vita, on their email signature. It's a great way to get people to connect with you. So therefore, you don't want a lot of numbers and letters after your name, which is what gets generated by default. Instead, if you have a nice, clean vanity URL, it looks nice, people can remember it, and they'll be able to find you easily by just typing that in. Now, if you are lucky, you can just put your first and last name together. But if you have a common name, that may not be possible, but hopefully you can find a combination that still keeps it really short and makes it easy to remember. Let's go see how we can change that. I am still in my profile. You can access yours if you're not there off your toolbar by just always clicking your icon and going to View Profile. In the upper right-hand corner where it says Public Profile and URL, click the pencil. Then you'll see the ending. Mine is just my first and last name here. Notice it's not going to let you change the domain name or anything that's in front of your URL. So it gives you the ability to type that in. It will tell you if it's already used and give you suggestions of what is available, and you can always try different combinations. Once you have that set and you go to your profile page or to your LinkedIn page, which I'm just going to click the LinkedIn logo. I'm going to click my profile here. You can see in the address bar, it uses my vanity URL. Next, let's talk about your headshot. You need to make sure you have a professional image. It also needs to be current. Certain people say you should even update your picture every couple of years, or if you get a new hairstyle that drastically changes your look and appearance, you may want to consider changing your LinkedIn profile picture. What you don't want is to have other people in your headshot. You don't want your pets, your family members, pictures of things that are not you, such as anime, your children, you being silly. These are not appropriate profile pictures. You want this to be a professional image. This image does show up when people do searches for you. It's one of the first things that they see. So make sure you make it a professional shot. So to change your profile picture, you just need to click your picture. It will bring it up. You can edit the picture. You can add a different picture just by clicking that. You can use the camera on your device at that time to take a picture or upload a photo at that time. An additional option on your profile photo is you get to decide who can see your photo. By default, it's going to be set to anyone. You can click that button and you can see these are your options. You can choose who can see it or if it's always invisible. Next, you want to create an eye-catching headline. By default, this is going to be the job title that you entered when you set up your profile. You are limited to 220 characters, but try to make that either your job title, or if you are trying to attract certain types of individuals for maybe research purposes. Students often have a more exciting headline as they're seeking different job opportunities, but you have the flexibility to change that headline. So let's see where you do that. Back on your profile page, let's click the pencil icon. So immediately after your first and last name, our pronunciation, you have this headline. By default, it is the same as your current position, but you can come in here and change it to anything you want. And notice it even has some AI suggestions if you want to try to let an AI, a ChatGPT type of tool, be able to generate that for you. Now that is with the premium. That means it's a paid version of LinkedIn, but ChatGPT is free, so you could always go out to that location, generate what you want your headline to be, and copy and paste it back in here. You want to add a summary. This is your About Me section. Keywords are crucial in this particular area, so you want to pick those words that people in your field of expertise would be searching for. You can be creative. It does not have to be a formal summary, but you can really express what you are about, why you love your profession, and the purpose of why you want to have a LinkedIn profile can play into how you word your summary. Really paint a picture of your professional life. I'll let you take a look at mine. I'm back on my profile page. If you scroll down, you'll see the About section. You can see usually the first 3 to 4 sentences. If you click the pencil icon again, this is where you can actually type this somewhere else and copy and paste it in, or just type it right here. You can see that I have expressed how much I love teaching, my passion for technology, listing some of those key skills that might be things people are searching for, and they will hit my profile. Now this becomes really crucial for students who are setting up a LinkedIn profile for job purposes, because that is what employers will be searching for as well. So listing all of their skills that are applicable to the type of career that they're going into or wanting to go into is very important. For you as a faculty or administrator, the purpose of you having a LinkedIn profile is to connect with other people that are in your particular industry or field of expertise. So think about those keywords and include those in your About Us summary section. A common mistake that people make is thinking that LinkedIn is just a regurgitation of their resume or their Vita. It is not. You want to list a condensed version, work experience, areas of expertise. You can be a lot more creative. You can always attach your resume or your Vita if that is very important to you. You want people to have access to that. But otherwise, you have creative freedom based off, again, the purpose of you having a LinkedIn page will dictate how you list that work experience. If you look back at my page, you can see I list not every place that I have worked. I spent 30 years in the IT industry prior to coming into a faculty position. So I chose just to list some of the most important one of those, how long I was there, kind of what my roles were. You can do the same thing. You could also list it as research. If that was more of your focus, you could list research here that you're doing, any articles that you're publishing. You can attach those, you can put links to those. Make it easy for people to see where your areas of expertise lie. Let's look at adding an employer here. If you click the plus button, add position, you can add what your title is, what your type of employment was, full-time, part-time, maybe you were consulting, the name. Now, when you type in a company name or a school's name, an organization, if that particular company or organization has a LinkedIn presence, it will automatically connect you to them, which increases your exposure on LinkedIn. You can put your location, the location type. This is kind of new since COVID that you have hybrid, remote. So that's become important. LinkedIn stays up to date with these type of things. Start and end dates, your industry, and then you can list the skills that you used, typically your top 3 to 5 at that particular job experience, and you can attach media here as well if that is something that is of importance. As you can see, OSU's logo came in here. I didn't have to do that. It's because OSU has a presence on LinkedIn. Same thing with some of my previous employers. Those are no longer in business, which is why you will see this particular icon that shows up. As we work down the page, notice you have an education section, so make sure that you're listing all your degrees. These will also link back to your alma mater as you enter those, as long as they have a presence on LinkedIn. So that's really nice. It increases your exposure there as well and gets you connected to alma maters or alumni at that school as well. Same thing for licenses, certifications. Make sure you keep those current depending on your industry. Those may be extremely important. These are great for students as they are entering the job market as well. If they have certifications they've learned through your programs or elsewhere, make sure you encourage them to list those. Going on down the profile page, we can add skills, which are very important. It plays into the keywords also that people search for. You can click the plus button. You can enter a free text field on skills. These are suggestions for me based off different posts that I have, things that I am connected to within LinkedIn. And if I select those, then I can tie those skills to any of my jobs that I have listed in my experience section of my profile. I can also link it to education, licenses, organizations, and so forth. Your LinkedIn banner is something you can completely customize. I've listed here the size that is recommended for the images. A JPEG, a PNG is the best file type, and less than 8 megabytes. If you don't have a picture that you like, there are some sites you can go to get royalty-free images. Some that I use are Pixabay.com, Unsplash.com. I don't have it listed, but Canva is also a place that you can set up a free account and be able to create and design your own banner for your page. Be aware that on Pixabay and Unsplash, at the very top of those, as you search for something, it will show some paid images. It's usually the first row to 2 rows. Past that are generally all your royalty free, and then again at the bottom it'll have some paid images. So there's not a reason to pay, there's plenty of sources. There's also some free AI image generators. All of those start out saying they're free, but many will try to charge you once you get your image created. I do know that at the point of recording this video, these were 4 sites where you could still get truly free generated images. On LinkedIn, you can have recommendations. These are recommendations other LinkedIn users write about you. I question this because I've seen so many times where people I just connected to, maybe I don't know them well, but I accepted their invitation due to other people they are connected with. I don't know them. It still pops up and says, do you want to recommend them for leadership, for their technical skills? And they give me all these different options. So I could easily fill out those recommendations and know nothing about them. So that's why, for me, it's my personal opinion. I find that questionable. If that's important to you, please seek out, request those. You can send through the messaging service of LinkedIn to people you're connected with, asking them to give you a recommendation. You can also offer to write them a recommendation if that's important for them. I showed you previously about entering your license and certifications. This is a great place as well if you do complete any of the LinkedIn Learning courses. It gives you the option, once you have completed it, to show a certification if you had one, or just a completion certificate. It will show up on your LinkedIn profile. This is important for those searching for a job, if you have students who are trying to get into a college, get an internship, get a full-time position. If they complete any of those, I would highly recommend that they check the box that LinkedIn puts those certifications, micro-credentials on their LinkedIn page to show their knowledge, kind of gives them a step up from other people that they may be considering for positions. LinkedIn is about building your network, so I encourage you to be very intentional about who you connect with. When I get a person trying to connect with me, I always go look at their profile. Now, depending on their privacy, sometimes I can't see much about them. If I can't tell enough about them, I look at who they are connected to that I also know. And that's one thing LinkedIn does for you. You are connected to 10 people that this person also knows. So I look at who those 10 people are, and how well do I think they are very intentional about who they connect with. And if I feel confident that this is a person that will help me, will give me access to information or groups of people, knowledge, research that I don't already have, that's when I choose to connect with them. Otherwise, if it's someone that I feel maybe is only trying to sell me something or doesn't have the best of intentions of why they want to connect with me, I click the ignore button. When you connect with people, you have the option of including a personalized message. I do encourage you to do that instead of just letting it use the standard message, telling them why you want to connect with them. Maybe you just met them. Usually if I go to a career fair and go to each of the booths to meet the employers, see what kind of students they're looking for, I often go back and search for them on LinkedIn and connect with them, and I will make a statement. It was a pleasure to visit with you at the career fair or wherever I just met them, so that they make that connection. Oh yes, I remember talking with her, and they're more likely to connect with me in that way. Just know that just like on other social media platforms, if you connect with someone and you decide that was not a good decision, you can always unsubscribe to being connected to that person. You saw me do a search earlier for the Educators Leadership Academy. So there is the search bar, but you can also narrow your search so that you're only searching for people or for companies, courses, different posts, schools. So you can narrow the focus so that you're not getting a plethora of results to try to navigate through, and you can hopefully hone in on what you're looking for. Let's explore a little bit more in the LinkedIn platform. Across the top is this toolbar. We've primarily been on our homepage and on our profile page. You can always go to My Network, and it will break these down. Groups, people you're following, companies that you're following, events, pages. You can narrow these. It tells you how many groups you're a part of, how many pages that you typically follow. It's a quick way to navigate to something you're looking for. You can go to the jobs section. Employers are on a premium subscription to be able to post jobs on LinkedIn. Students find this a great resource for them to be able to find internships and full-time positions. Now, messaging is what you will see here in the lower right-hand corner, but you can also go to the messaging page, and the same thing that would pop up here in the lower right easily is seen here on the left, and with each one, you're then seeing what the message is someone is sending you. I also have my notifications set up if people are trying to connect with me or they send me a message through LinkedIn. I get it into my email, and I can click that, and it will take me to my LinkedIn page for that message. So to me, it's a nice feature so I don't miss someone trying to reach out to me. That is in your settings if you don't want that going to your email. Notifications, you can decide in the settings how much you want to be notified. Again, these can be pop-ups. They can go to your email. It will show in blue with the dots if these are new ones that you have not read yet, and it will show you a number here for the number that you have not read until you go into this page. If you go back to your home page, I will be honest, this is where I spend the majority of my time when I come to LinkedIn. I scroll through the feed, I see anything that is happening with our employers, with my university that I might be aware of, need to be aware of. If there are articles that I want to read, it is very good about showing you things that are relevant based off other searches and other articles and posts that you have commented on, liked, much like what you see on other social media platforms. So it's a way for me to stay up to date on current things that are happening that are important to me. If you are someone who likes to post out on this, just remember this is a professional network and it needs to stay in that realm. The last couple of years, you will start seeing more things about wishing people happy birthday and that are more personal, more like what you would see on other social media platforms. I'm hoping it doesn't continue to go down that realm. There's not a lot of it going on. It's still considered a more professional environment. Those are the types of posts that you should be making. If you are an administrator on a business page for your department, your school, it's important that you post regularly. I would do that at least once a week, preferably 2 to 3 times a week, so that people are seeing your posts and it's popping up on their feed. That's going to keep you connected to them instead of an occasional post that is not going to get the exposure probably that you're wanting. Let's go through how you create a post. The process is the same regardless if you're on a departmental page, a business page, or your own personal page. You click in the Start a Post. You talk about what you're doing. I'm enjoying being at, and if you list a page that's a public page, so I'm at University of Central Oklahoma now, so if I knew their URL, uco.edu, when I put a space after that, notice it brought in the image that the UCO website has chosen should pop up in any searches, and it brings in that image for me. So it's that additional tagging and showing of information that you don't have to worry about. Then you can continue on. Since I'm on the my department's page, I probably should put something other than I may be Kim Strom, right? So I can do an @ and then notice it starts popping up people that are my first connection. Clearly I'm my own connection, right? So I can click myself and bring my name in there. It now connects this post that's on my department's page to my personal LinkedIn profile page. And then I can continue on. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can also add any emojis, things that you want there. Schedule it for later. This is often nice. If you want this to appear maybe after 5, you can just click the clock icon and be able to enter the date and the time that you want that to display. Now I'm going to click discard because I don't want this to show up on my departmental page, but otherwise it would then show in my feed. Hopefully you realize that LinkedIn is a great platform for you as an educator, whether you're an administrator or a faculty member. I shared some best practices that I've found work for me. I hope those work for you, and that you share those with your students as they try to enter their career. Feel free to connect with me. My information's there on the screen, and I look forward to hearing from you.